He was really good at maths, but in his GCSE, he missed out a whole page. My guy still banged the level 9. Yo, what is good guys, and welcome back to another video on my channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I thought I'd make this video to give you guys some last minute advice for your exams. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. The first thing I'd highly recommend is going to bed early and waking up early to carry on with revising. Do not cram the night before your exam, because when you wake up in the morning, half of that stuff is going to be gone and you're going to be in your exam panicking and wondering why you can't remember something. It's so much more effective to go to bed early, wake up early, carry on your revision in the morning so that all of the knowledge is fresh in your mind during the exam. I found it so helpful due to the fact that I did maths papers every day in the morning before my exam, and in some days where I had chemistry, for example, in the morning, I'd do some chemistry questions and then I could kind of regurgitate the knowledge during the exam. Cramming really isn't that effective unless you've done no revision at all, in which case you really shouldn't be watching videos. You should really be cracking on with your revision. Now, I don't want to ramble on too much about this because I actually recommended this in my GCSE maths video, which I really would urge you guys to watch. Leading on from this topic of doing questions early on in the morning, I just want to add that the questions that you do should be questions in topics that you are really struggling with. It is so easy to focus on the subjects and the topics that you're confident in, to give yourself that reassurance that you're going to do well. In the long run, doing hard questions which you're shaky at in the topics that you're really struggling with is going to be so much more effective, because if you get a question in the exam on a topic that you're not sure about, that you've been avoiding for the past couple of weeks, it really is going to come back to bite you. So make sure you focus on the topics you're struggling with. Another tip that I'd highly recommend is actually to do with what you do the night before your exam. If you're not gonna revise really late and you just wanna chill out a bit with your friends, be careful with the friends that you talk to. I'm not saying that your friends are toxic or they're annoying or whatever, but just be very careful in the sense that you shouldn't really be spending time talking to people that are really competitive and the type of friends that they want to do really well, because they're going to start quizzing you and asking you questions on topics and you may be a bit shaky on it, and that's really the last thing you want the day before your exam. This is really just because a lot of your friends will feel obliged to kind of ask you questions and they'll want you to test them back in return. And all this really does is kind of make you more panicked and scared. I generally go with the rule of thumb that if you don't know it the night before the exam, you're probably not going to know it for an exam. And I'm talking about proper exams such as GCSEs. Mocks, you can do what you want in it, but for real exams, you should really know it the night before your exam. If you do talk to friends before your exam, just make sure it's more friendly kind of conversational topics such as football, such as music. Just try not to focus too much on exams. Leading on from this topic of stress and panicking, just don't panic, guys. Do not panic whatever you do. The exams themselves aren't actually that deep for GCSEs anyway. It's more the weight and the anxiety that builds up in preparation for the exams that really is stressful. The exams themselves aren't too bad. I think people really get obsessed with the potential hard questions, the level 9 questions that could get asked. You're forgetting that there are some easy questions. Yes, even in the higher tier papers, there are some easy questions where you can gain marks. So do not panic about your GCSEs or the exams that you're going to do, because honestly, they're not too bad. GCSEs are not the be all and end all. I actually have a girl in my class who did double science. Yes, she did double science and she's doing higher biology and chemistry. And she is the best in our biology class. Honestly, she's so amazing at biology. And she only did double science. So bearing in mind, most of us in that class are a good year ahead of her, yet she's still probably the best in our class. So just bear that in mind. Your GCSEs aren't everything. Sixth form does kind of override your GCSEs in a sense. So don't panic too much, because if you don't do as well as you hoped, just know that it's your sixth form and your A-level/IB subjects that are going to be really important. So guys, I just want to talk now about the actual exam day. Do not line up too early for your exams, because chances are your friends are going to be there quizzing each other on all of the hard questions. And if you don't know it, or you're struggling on one of the questions, you're going to get a bit nervous, you're going to get a bit stressed just before your exam. And really, being stressed before your exam is the worst thing that could possibly happen. So just try and delay it a bit before you go into your exam. Being too nervous is also as bad as being too chilled. I remember from my first biology exam, I think it was B1, me and my friends were all pumped, were already like, everyone was bare hyped for it because it was the first exam, and I was so chilled. I thought it was a joke. I thought I was gonna pattern a really good grade in it. I mean, I did, but I basically got question 1 wrong because, like, guys, you should not be getting question 1 wrong in biology anyway, and it was plainly because I was so chilled out. I thought I knew everything and I was gonna bang an amazing grade. do not be too chilled before your exam. Luckily for me, I managed to, you know, just pat myself up during the exam and think, yo, you need to focus, you need to do well in this exam, and that actually helped me. But I did get question 1 wrong, which just shows that I wasn't in the right frame of mind. So make sure you're not too chilled before your exam. You should have an element of stress and not panic, but desire to do well. Don't be too chilled because that's just gonna backfire. So I just wanna talk a little bit about after your exams. I know everyone says that you shouldn't talk to your friends after your exams. I would say that, but you guys are just gonna talk to them anyway. So one thing I wanna say is, just because all of your friends got one answer and you got a different answer, don't automatically assume that they're right and you're wrong and that you're gonna get a dead grade. Quick story is I actually have a friend called Abraham. He was really good at maths, but in his GCSE, he missed out a whole page. My guy still banged a level 9, a solid level 9, so I was on the board of a level 9, so I'm pretty sure he beat me, even though he missed out a whole page. So it just goes to show that just because you get a question wrong or you miss out a page or whatever, doesn't mean that you're gonna do bad overall. Literally, just make sure that you don't lose motivation or don't feel demotivated because of the fact that you've got a question wrong or everyone else seems to be getting a question right. Just keep going because GCSEs is all about stamina, and if you let one potentially bad result get the better of you, your grades from then on are just gonna go downhill. So just make sure that you keep your head up, keep your chin up, be positive, guys, and you should be fine. Also, guys, quick side note, make sure you check how many questions are in the exam and make sure you're fully aware of the topics and the questions that you need to answer, because some people, for example, in geography end up answering questions on topics they haven't learned, or they leave back pages out, for example, in their maths paper, and you're just hindering your marks. So make sure you're completely aware and familiar with your exam type, and just for the love of God, check the back page. Coming towards the end of the video, I just wanted to share with you guys a quick tip that I use for my maths GCSE. I don't think I actually mentioned it in my maths video, but during your GCSEs, for any subjects in general, perhaps just note down a few stuff on your hand. Before you guys at me in the comment section about getting disqualified and stuff, but you can literally jot down a few things on your hand or just keep them fresh in your head at least. And then when you go into your exam, note down these stuff on your test paper at the front and then rub off your hand or clear it from your head so you guys don't get caught cheating or whatever. I just find it so useful, especially for subjects like maths where you have to remember a lot of formulas and just a lot of BS basically. So make sure you jot stuff down at the front of your paper before your exam. You'll just be able to flick to the front of your paper and see the relevant formulas, which will really help you out. So guys, I thought I'd end the video with a bit of a motivational message. What I want to say is that it doesn't matter what you've been getting throughout secondary school. It doesn't matter if your teachers have written you off. You can still get that level 7, you can still get that level 6 and do well in your GCSE exams. You do not need 99% to get a level 9. It is based on what the rest of the country achieves during the exams. For example, I got 79% in maths and it was still a level 9. So don't think because an exam went wrong or didn't go as well as you hoped, you're not going to get a really good grade, guys. You're 100% in control of your exam grades and only you guys can put it right. I'm actually so moist, but on that note, guys, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, guys, make sure to give the video a massive thumbs up. Share it with your friends, guys. Make sure to smash the subscribe button to become a part of student life, followed by the notification bell so you guys never miss an awesome upload, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.